Wow, what a good track. It sounds so quintessentially Linkin Park. Hi everyone. Welcome back to my video village. Welcome if you're new here. First thing you're gonna notice is I'm in a new location, and you would be correct. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you will notice that I have a really different background. That's because I moved back to the Netherlands, onto our sailboat where we normally live, my husband and I. So that's what you're seeing. This is our sailboat. Took a little bit of effort getting set up on this. It's not quite as easy as, you know, in like living room or like your little studio or whatever. So it definitely took a little bit more effort, but we're here and we're back and we're gonna be doing this again. I'm really stoked. I'm actually going to be taking a look at Up From the Bottom by Linkin Park today. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, in case you are new here, my name is Manon. I'm a filmmaker. I work mostly in the horror and sci-fi genre. I'm a longtime metalhead, which is why I love taking a look at metal videos. I sometimes, divert and get into other stuff, but recently I've been doing a lot of Ren, which has been a lot of fun, so take a look at that too if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, I write, I direct for film, and also have my first feature film in the works. And in the meantime, you can also subscribe to my Patreon if that's something you're interested in. I'm actually going to show you a little bit of what it looks like setting up here on the boat, as well as I show behind the scenes from my films. You get early access to my work, and on top of that, you also get my monthly short stories. Have a look if you're interested. But for now, let's get into Up From the Bottom. So I'm using new headphones today. They're really huge, but they're really good. They're the Sony MDR Z7M2s. All right, let's go, guys.
Keep me waiting down here, so far below, staring up from the bottom, up from the bottom. I'll try escaping, but there's nowhere to go. Staring up from the bottom, up from the bottom.
Wow, what a good track. It sounds so quintessentially Linkin Park. And just in case you don't know, Linkin Park was my gateway band into metal. Like as a 13-year-old, I was such a hardcore fan of Linkin Park. So I'm really quite familiar with their work, but especially like their older work. And to me, it sounds so Linkin Park with, you know, the electronics, the piano, and then Mike Shinoda rapping, sort of like going back and forth between her and him. Yeah, I really like it. So let's take a look at some of the visuals here, because I love the opening of this specifically. This is such a great reveal where we have this really soft, blurry opening. And as this guy steps forward, it all becomes a little bit clearer. And so now that I'm looking at it, what I really love also is that we're seeing all of these little segments that we see later, like here the guy in the prison, we see here the guy that's looking up at the ceiling, and we see Emily over here. And I'm actually not sure if this is all from this video, because I remember that having seen this bit before, but maybe we see that later in this video. I'm not sure. But I really like this. Like, it's like he's looking into the future or into all of these different realities in a way. That's really, really cool. And I love that there are these old-fashioned TVs. And the video's directed by Hahn again, who's been directing most, if not all, of their new videos, and he's been doing a great job. They're all very visually distinct, but very cohesive in a way as well. He clearly loves the more cinematic look, and all of this, like, it's shot with really, really shallow depth of field. Everything's quite painterly, and it looks great. And I love this setup with this office. If you've been watching Severance, it almost looks a little bit like the offices in Severance with the ceilings with the lights. Like, I'm expecting, the ceiling lights to turn red and for Milchick to do a dance. One of my favorite things to come out in the past couple years. If you have not watched Severance, cannot recommend more strongly. But yeah, that reminded me a little bit of that. Also, I wanted to point out is that Emily is really emotive in the way that she performs, and I love that. It really goes with them so well. Chester also was, so really great. And so we have quite a bit of camera movement here, probably a guy with a steady cam, or a woman, honestly, camera person. And then we get a little bit of story here, which is so really fascinating. So we cut to, I think that's Joe, who is here on a sofa. So not sure what the story is yet. I'm really curious. And then we cut to this guy with this beautiful ceiling, and I love this shot. Look at how beautiful that is. And the camera moves ever so slightly. And so it really gets into focus. It's so nice. All right, a little behind the scenes. My husband came in, told me I got the headphones on the wrong way. So I turned them around. Oh, here we are. Anyway, love this shot. I'm so curious where it is. Now, Linkin Park films a lot around Los Angeles, so could be it's somewhere over there. But if anyone knows in the comments where this specific shot was filmed, I'd love to know. Alrighty, let's continue watching, guys. Oh, no. I was like, I need to stop it there because something else is going to happen. And there's a couple things I want to take a look at. Wanted to take a look at some more of these segments. So they've kind of been doing that with some of their other videos as well, where we see some of the band members in, like, every time we see them in a different environment. And it's really cool. I love that. I wonder, like, previously I felt like they were standing in front of a green screen. It's possible that that's the same here and we're just seeing a picture behind them, or they're actually in a set. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a BTS I need to watch. But I do really like it. And here I do feel like he's actually on a set. The lighting is a bit more consistent than it was for Brad, so I wonder. I notice here that they're doing these interesting transitions. So when the camera moves down, it really feels like there's a sort of a swoosh effect added to the movement in the edit. So you can kind of see that here. Swoosh. See? So it's really cool. I love that. And they've been doing some of that. Like, they've been doing a fair bit with VFX in their videos too. So it's fun to see those little things. So here too, and then it transitions to this other shot. So that's really, really neat. And it feels very cohesive that way. Also wanted to point out the color grading. Really, really like it. It's, in all of these shots, it's fairly cool toned, really, really dark darks, which I'm personally a fan of. When the contrast is quite high, I really like what they're doing here in terms of color grading. I love this sort of high contrast. And then here it's we see more warm tones because of the background, and overall it's a little bit greener because of the environment. I wonder if that's also to elicit more of that sort of old school, vintage vibe, because that often leans a bit more green toned. Also love this shot. Really, really love that. It's not much, but it works so well. I guess because of the lighting, because her skin is really just lit beautifully. She really stands out from the background because of that shallow depth of field. So it's very soft, very dreamy. They must also have been using some sort of filter on their lenses, like a glimmer filter or something to kind of soften the skin, because they all look so soft and buttery. So every time we see a little bit more of these guys in their environment, and this is really creepy, him in this straitjacket. So I wonder what that's about. And then it's kind of revealed that that's Mike. Love this. Again, really love the profile and how it's sitting exactly in this circle. If that were a painting, I would hang it. It's really, really nice. We do a lot with these beautiful profiles here. Like, we don't even see the people anymore. So it's very high contrast. Again, very shallow depth of field. Like, everything is really hazy here. It's just like the hint of the image. So it's really, really nice. Let's watch the final minute, because I felt like there was a natural break there and we were heading into another one of Mike's parts. So
everybody out, that devil is coming. Poison on his lips and his words mean nothing. Cold like a mountaintop, father never loved him. Mama said he's bad enough times that it's sunk in. Everybody out, that devil is coming. Promise you the world, but he's always bluffing. Before you even know it's a trap you're stuck in, he's gone like a ghost already off running.
The Emptiness Machine, that was the one that I saw previously where they kind of did the same thing. This was so impressive. I'm in awe of how they sort of, like, in the final minute, they sort of upend everything that we've seen so far and add a lot of VFX. Really cool. And they did the same thing here again. So we kind of ramp up into like the final act of the song. I feel like they have such a cinematic structure to their music as well as their videos. And all of a sudden everything starts changing. So this entire room starts warping, and then all of a sudden we see these, sort of SWAT cops or riot cops. That's what it is. It's riot police. So wow, I feel like they've definitely gotten a little bit more political. So up from the bottom, I know I couldn't follow the lyrics 100%, but from the visuals I'm seeing like riot police, you're seeing someone who's sick, someone in prison, someone in a mental institution, and who is being put into a box. I feel like all of those things are kind of referring to oppression. So very well thought through, and the visuals really are very, very striking. Like him going into this box is really unsettling, as well as the box being lifted up here. Wow. Again, beautiful lighting. I love how the light reflects off of this chain here, even though the box itself is so dark. It just, it really drives home that vibe of the oppression. You know what I mean? Yeah, very, very cool changes here. And I love this moment where the riot police just runs at her. Oh, and here Mike throws a rope up from the bottom. But yeah, it's, here's the moment where the riot police runs at her. Look. Yeah, really powerful, really, really powerful. And then him here as well, he is like releasing some sort of power. Crazy. Or, you could kind of say maybe he's dying here and that's his soul sort of leaving his body. I mean, it's a little, maybe that's far-fetched, but I really like the effect of sort of like this shockwave. Very cool, very cool. By the way, how they often achieve this stuff moving like that, they would have like a little fishing line or fishing wire attached to the objects that need to move, and then off screen they'll have someone who's like pulling it to make sure that it moves. So for us it looks like it's this force, you know, this shock wave, but in reality it's someone pulling it. And I always think that's really fun. But it looks so effective, doesn't it? Really very cool. Great job. Wonderful video. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you think I missed anything, because I'm curious. It might be that I missed some key clues here. Yeah, let me know what you think of Linkin Park so far. I think this song is incredibly catchy. It's probably going to be stuck in my head for the next day. I'm going to absolutely listen to this a little bit more. I haven't actually listened too much of their album, but I really like the singles, so I'm sure there's more for me to discover there. Though I've kind of moved on to darker music, I suppose. Which in a way is their fault, so what can I say? But absolutely love this. Yeah, you can subscribe if you want to follow along for more. Please give this a like so we reach as many people as possible. And yeah, check out my Patreon if that's something you're interested in. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.